Sephardic-style hard-boiled eggs, or Huevos Jaminados, as my ancestors from Turkey used to call them. So absolutely beautiful and delicious. Sally, that girl, in the kitchen. Hi everyone, and welcome to another episode of Sally, that girl, in the kitchen. In today's episode, I'm going to teach you how to make Sephardic-style hard-boiled eggs, Huevos Jaminados. So, my grandparents and my great-grandparents used to make these eggs, especially for high holidays, for Passover, to include on our Seder table, and of course, to give to each of our Seder guests to have one. Now, what's special about these eggs? Well, we're going to treat them in a very special way. We're going to boil them ever so slowly for hours, infusing them with beautiful color, and what would have otherwise been a white egg becomes this beautiful, golden, gorgeous egg. And then we're going to crack those eggs ever so slightly and allow that beautiful color to somewhat infuse that egg white and to create an interesting, intricate pattern on the egg. They almost look marbled. It's absolutely beautiful, it's delicious, and it's traditional, so I would not go without. So I'm super excited to teach you how to make these. So let's not wait another second, and let's get started. For today's recipe, you will need 12 white large eggs, the skin of 4 yellow or red onions, 3/4 of a cup of strong ground coffee, plus another 1/2 cup as needed. I'm using Turkish coffee, but any strong ground coffee such as espresso will also do. We're also going to need some water and some ice. You will also need a large pot, a large spoon, a large bowl, and some dry measuring cups. So now that we have all of our ingredients and tools together, let's get started. So the first thing you're going to want to do is fill your large pot with cool water from your sink and add to it your eggs. Then place that pot on your stovetop. Now right on top of that, I'm going to add 3/4 of a cup of ground coffee. I'm using, as I said, Turkish coffee because it's really strong, and plus it's Turkish after all. And so then I'm going to very gently just break up any of the clumps that form when the water and coffee meet. Now, all I'm looking to do is gently break them up because they will break down once we start to boil our eggs. Now, once I've done that, then all I'm going to do is add right on top of that the skin of the onions. So I'm using yellow onions. So as you can see, they have an outer, thicker layer of skin, and that one comes off pretty easily. And then they have a second yellow layer. So I'm gonna add that one too. That one comes off with just a little more effort, but you wanna make sure to get that layer too. So you want all of that beautiful golden onion in your pot. So then you're just going to put that onion aside because you're not going to be using it in this recipe. And then you're just going to repeat the process with all of your onions. So I'm using 4 because I find that that's perfect for a dozen eggs along with our ground coffee. And so all I want to do is gently submerge those beautiful golden onion skins. Now, the skins and the coffee are going to give these eggs the most beautiful color. The eggs are going to simmer for hours, and the smell of that coffee simmering away is probably my favorite part about making this dish. So now everything's in. I'm going to turn on my stove, and I'm going to start at high just because I really want to get that water hot. I want to start a low boil. So the minute it starts to boil, I immediately am going to lower to either low or a medium simmer if your stove has it. If not, then low is fine. The idea is to bring that boil down to a slow simmer because we are going to be simmering these eggs for hours. What we want is for them to bubble ever so gently and then just slowly cook. Now, we are going to be adding water as necessary because, of course, I'm going to cook these for a total of 6 hours. So some of the water is going to be evaporating as our eggs slowly cook. So all I do is every so often, I come over to where my eggs are, I grab my spoon, and I just very gently stir. I just want to make sure that the eggs are not all sitting in the same position the entire time. And then I just gently stir that beautiful liquid, and that smell is really intoxicating, so delicious. And then all I do is watch the water level to see if it is going down. So you can already see that the water line is a little lower than when I started. So what I like to do is when I come and check on my eggs every so often and give them a stir, as I see that water level drop, then I just add some warm water to my pot. You can warm it up in the microwave, or you can just get hot water from your sink, however you prefer. And all you do is then add some water to the pot as needed. So since I'm adding more water to the pot, what I also like to do is sometime during the course of the day, as I add water and as that water is being evaporated, I come in and add some more ground coffee also. That's why I said 3/4 cup plus another 1/2 cup as needed, because as the day goes by, I also like to add some more coffee to the pot. So in my case, I added about another 1/2 cup of that strong ground coffee to my pot, and then all I do is just gently stir that in. So I mentioned that I'm cooking this for a total of 6 hours, but it's actually 2 parts. I cook it for 5 and then for an extra hour, because there's going to be a step that I do after 5 hours of cooking. And I'm preparing these the way that I saw my grandmother do it. There was no written recipe for me that she left. I just remember the process, and she didn't add anything else, just coffee and onion skins. I know some people add other flavorings. They add garlic cloves or bay leaves or a little bit of oil, but I make them the way my grandmother made them, plain and simple, coffee and onion skins. So 5 hours have now passed, and I'm going to turn my stove off for a moment. And then I have prepared a bowl with some ice water. So all I'm going to do is I'm going to grab my spoon and I'm going to gently remove the eggs from that hot water, and I'm going to place them into this ice water bath. So the purpose of this ice water bath is twofold. Number one, it's going to stop the cooking process, and it's also going to allow me to handle the eggs that would otherwise be super hot at this point. So I'm trying not to remove onion skins from my pot, because we are going to continue to use those onion skins and that hot water for another hour. But if some onion skins get away, then it's okay. We're just going to grab them once they're cool enough, and we're going to put them back into the pot. So I've stirred these around because I want to make sure that my eggs are cool. They have to be cool to the touch. I have to be able to handle them. And as you can see, the onion skins are cool. And so I've added them back in the pot. So look at that gorgeous color, first of all. They've developed this beautiful dark color. So now I'm going to grab my eggs and I'm going to gently, just right there on the edge of my bowl, give them a little crack kind of all around, because I just want to create some crack lines going throughout each egg, because I'm going to place those eggs back into that hot water very carefully, of course, after I crack them just ever so gently. It's okay if a little piece of that eggshell falls off, and you can actually roll them between your hands the way I just did. The idea is just to create a few cracks in each of the eggs, because that is going to be critical in creating that gorgeous marbled finish on the egg white itself. So now you can spill out that dark water and add clean water again to the bowl. And then you're going to turn your stove on once again to the same temperature that you had it for the first 5 hours. And then we're just going to make sure that all of those eggs are nicely submerged. And then we're going to continue, once again, we're going to cook them for 1 more hour in this deep, dark, rich liquid. And now those beautiful egg whites are going to get infused, and all of those cracks are going to create the most beautiful marbled pattern on our eggs. I cannot wait for you to see them. So after an hour, I added ice to my water bowl once again to make an ice water bath. And I'm doing the same thing I did the first time. I'm just removing the eggs from that hot water. I'm done with the hot water, and I'm going to just turn off that stove and remove all of the eggs. And at this point, they are more than cooked. So I'm adding them to this water bath just to completely, once again, stop that cooking process and just cool my eggs down. And of course, wash off all of that ground coffee that has already done its magic and infuse these beautiful huevos jaminados. So now my eggs are ready. I'm going to pat them dry with a paper towel, and I'm going to serve them on a serving platter, and they are ready to go. They look so pretty right now and so different. People are going to wonder, why are they cracked like that and why are they dark? You can see the little dark spots in the areas where the shell has fallen off, and that is very intriguing. But if you think they look beautiful and golden now, wait till you see what they look like on the inside. Like, first of all, look at how gorgeous the color of that egg is. This was a white egg when we started, and it has completely transformed. But wait till you see what it looks like on the inside. Once we peel off the shell, it is so absolutely beautiful. It has been completely transformed. It is now this gorgeous marbled egg like nothing anyone has ever seen. And if you haven't experienced huevos jaminados before, they are just so remarkably beautiful. Each one is different. They all develop their each unique pattern depending on how the egg was cracked. You see how the inside of the egg matches the pattern on the egg itself? Just absolutely beautiful and so different and so special. If you want to try something really special for your Passover Seder, these eggs are really just something completely different. Everyone is going to really, really love them. So, first of all, I can't stop admiring them because they're just so beautiful. And this one happens to stand up. Apparently, it sat somewhere on the pot and created a level bottom. So it's actually perfect for me to display it. I picked the right one to crack first because it's just absolutely perfect. I love the marbled pattern. It's just absolutely beautiful. And I just love the way I cracked the shell on this one and created just such a fun pattern. So now we're just going to cut these open, and you can see the egg white itself is also a little bit darker than it normally would be because of course it was submerged for hours in that beautiful dark liquid. And my house smells of coffee. It's absolutely divine. So I like to serve mine with a little bit of salt and pepper. So I'm just going to add a little bit of that on top. And then I'm going to go ahead and try one of these because honestly, they're just super yummy and so pretty. They're just such a delight. Beautiful to serve and delicious. It's perfect. It doesn't taste much different than your normal hard-boiled egg, but it is such a beautiful tradition and just so lovely to serve them this way. They are just as yummy as a regular hard-boiled egg, but you can see the love that went into them. Delicious. You can see the love. You can taste the love and you can feel the love. They're just absolutely gorgeous. I love them. And this is the best way to make your huevos jaminados. So good. So how absolutely gorgeous are these eggs? They develop the most beautiful, rich color like nothing anyone has ever seen. And they're just so interesting when you serve them to your guests. They're a little cracked. People are going to be wondering, what's different about this egg? And they have that little darkness peeking through, and then when they peel them, it reveals this gorgeous, intricate, beautiful pattern, almost a marbled finish that is so gorgeous and of course delicious. You're gonna love them, trust me. No, better yet, don't trust me. You're gonna have to try to make this recipe yourself. And of course, if you've enjoyed today's recipe, don't forget to like, comment, and share. Thank you so much for liking my videos, for sharing them with your friends, and of course for your beautiful comments. And if you're not already subscribed to my channel, make sure to subscribe and to touch that little notification bell so that you get notified every time I put up a new amazing recipe video, which I do all of the time. Go over to that video tab and explore there, and you are not gonna believe just how many recipe videos I already have up. And if you're not already following me on social media, you can find Sally That Girl in the Kitchen on Facebook, Instagram, and on Pinterest. And you can find me as Sally That Girl FL on Twitter, Snapchat, and on TikTok. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you next time. Sally That Girl in the Kitchen.